Hey brothers, I want to tell you about a website called blackmenzone.com. Now, blackmenzone is a site that specifically targets black men. It's a place where black men talk about issues that solely affect them. Now, at Black Men's Zone, the topics will range from news to society, sports, technology, business, food and recipes. Some brothers got to cook too. Gaming, and some of your brothers like doing some of that. Health and fitness, got to get your workout on. Music, movies, and many other topics. Now, there's not many forums around these days for black men, and because black men have to create them. Now, this particular website is more of a forum based, something simple, not social media. You can write what you need to write, say what you need to say, get on, get off pretty quick. But if you're interested, brothers, to at least go there, and I want you to check it out, engage in the topics, go to blackmenzone.com, sign up for an account, and get engaged in the conversation. So we had just covered a story right here out of Texas where you had white supremacist students trying to sell other students online in a mock slave auction in 2021. Like I told you before, white supremacy is taught in the household. They learn that when they can barely speak. Trust me on that. We've covered videos in the past on this. I mean, it's extremely sick, demonic, mentality. Now, in this particular story here, once again, and this is a teacher, not a student, what we're about to talk about here. So this story came out maybe about a month ago, and someone sent me this story after they viewed the story that we just produced. So this is out of a Mississippi middle school, and the teacher was writing an assignment on slavery, and it drew heavy criticism online. It said the assignment was given to 8th graders at Purvis Middle School. It said where students were asked to pretend like you were a slave working on a Mississippi plantation. Now, let's get to this, and Brother Sharif, you can put that thing up while we read this. So, as you can see here, it says slave letter writing activity. Before I get started even just going through this, they have this obsession with your subjugation, black people. They have an obsession with slavery because some of them look at slavery and look at those slavery plantations that's still around. And you know how some of them want to go have their weddings on a slave plantation and how they preserve these slave plantations out here. And some of them, look at movies like 12 Years a Slave and have a slavery wet dream and wish they can go back in time and, abuse and do black people like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's why the slavery movies keep coming out. It's not that we as black Americans keep asking for slave movies. We don't ask for that. I believe there's been enough slavery movies out here. If we're going to make some slavery movies, let's make more slavery movies like Birth of a Nation. Let's do those movies. Let's show the revolts. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see all that black folks being subjugated and all that. I mean, that's not improving black folks. And they keep showing you that to keep putting you not in remembrance of your ancestors, but to try to send a psychological way of reminding you to stay defeated, to say, hey, this is your place, in this country. Don't think you more than this. You understand what I'm saying? It's more psychological, and it sends a message throughout the world to devalue you, it's okay to dehumanize you because you was nothing but a slave. You understand? And then if they show you in modern times, they show you as a freaking Pookie and Ray Ray. So there's nothing good about you that they produce. This is why we have to have our own people produce movies and stories and portray our image the right way and protect the image of black people. But let's get to this letter. So the teacher said, pretend like you are a slave working on a Mississippi plantation. How's somebody going to pretend that? And you definitely talking to black students because you're not even talking to white ones. How could a white one even relate to that at all? That's not their history. They say, write a letter to your family back in Africa on another American state describing your life. Once again, white people can't say that, so you're directing this at black students only. Now, I thought about this. I said, if I was to write this for this teacher, I would give her something to really think about in my writing. So she told me pretend like I was a slave working on a plantation. Oh boy. I would say, I'm out here on this plantation. It took me out of my beautiful continent. I'm over here with these nasty people. They're so freaking lazy, and all I'm doing is working all day. You know what I'm saying? In this horrible, horrible place. So we don't have nothing good to say about this place. They say you writing a letter back to your family in Africa, saying that they captured me, and they said I want to be home with you and everybody else and my children that I left behind, and you could have left your mama behind and everybody else that you left behind, and you missing them, and you want to go back home. You don't want to be here. You don't even know the language. You still know your language. You still know your name, and they beating you, and you telling them how they told you what your new name is, and told them about everything that happened to you, while you're here. There's nothing happy about that. See, you have to get into a horrible place as a black person, and this is how white supremacy permeates education. You understand? It permeates this. Listen, notice all these Republican politicians, they call quote unquote critical race theory basically the truth about white supremacy, and they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. They fight against it. Oh, so you can't hear about the truth about white supremacy, but black folks got to be constantly reminded, even little children that really can't psychologically defend themselves like an adult like myself, you're trying to bug break them early, trying to put them down early, make them feel bad about being black early. You understand? This is evil to be showing this to little children in school. So you say you may discuss the journey to America as well as the day-to-day task you perform. No child in 2021 know anything about that. So what, you want them to revert to a time, saying what, I'm in the bottom of a ship, my brothers and sisters over here, people are dying. These nasty people are raping men, women, and children. I mean, they're horrible. They're beating people. They're throwing dead people overboard. I mean, what you really want them to say? It's nothing good they're going to say. We're going to say, oh my God, it was a great boat ride. And, maybe a few people died. And yeah, a few of us got, raped and sodomized. And, they some, rapid pedophiles. They grab, 3 and 4 year olds and 5-year-olds and rape them too. But outside of all that, the boat ride wasn't that bad. Is that what you really wanted them to say? 8th grade children? Is that what you wanted them to say? You may also want to tell about the family you live with, work for, and how you pass your time when you aren't working. So on top of all of that, you want a black child to revert themselves back to that time period of extreme subjugation. And I guess talk about this family, that I don't know, the laziest group of people on the planet Earth, the people that ran the plantations. Lazy. They were so freaking lazy that the women in the pictures out there didn't even breastfeed their own children. Do you know how lazy you got to be with that? They had black women breastfeeding their children. Black women taking care of their children. Black women cleaning their house. Notice, if you research the history, feminism didn't start until black women started working in their house. That's when feminism started. When a man said, okay, well, you need to start cleaning this house. Oh, hell no, feminism. And then they say how you pass your time when you're not working. Like you apply for a job. No, this is slavery. What if that child would say, how I pass my time? I'm plotting every day with my brothers and sisters how I'm about to get up off this plantation. I'm plotting how I'm going to go over there and burn up Master's whole house with him in it and his family. I'm going to burn down this whole plantation, and then I'm going to leave. That's exactly, and I'm trying to get myself back to Africa. That's exactly what my plan is. Because if I was on a plantation, that's exactly what I would be trying to figure out. I'm a firm believer of I'd rather die a warrior than live my whole life like a freaking slave. Forget that. Sorry. Some of them times I was watching that show recently, the show Them, and I'm pretty sure you see some of that show. And just that time period, oh no, like I said, they would have to do something to me, because if they do something to me, I promise you, you coming with me. because it's not going to go down like that. No. I guess God put me in the right time period. And then they want to write at least 3 paragraphs, 5 sentences in a letter. That kind of stuff like that, ladies and gentlemen, is why your children grow up with self-esteem issues. It comes from that school. It comes from that. The most beautiful thing about COVID was it forced us to start educating our own children. Prior to COVID, I used to always say this in videos. Hey, black folks need to educate their kids. Black folks need to take more time. And you was forced to with COVID. See, that's the bad part about black folks. You always got to be forced to do something. I hate that. Instead of you saying, okay, this is the situation, let's do something about it. This is why our children, hate their skin, hate their hair. This is why we deal with colorism issues. In this same school, the black children are criminalized. They patting them down every day. Talking about their standard procedure. Treating them like criminals when they didn't commit any crimes. A mother in this particular school said that her child was called the N-word by one of those little white supremacist, heathens. Yes, they kicked the boy off the basketball team, but they say the season was over, so why would they even worry about that? You understand? We have to take responsibility of our education. And what frustrates me the most about Black America, and why, a lot of times when you hear people say, they just want to just pack themselves up and go to the continent of Africa, it's not so much that they're not fighters. The fact is, a lot of times you can be a fighter and be so frustrated because you got a group of people who's so defeated. And that's another thing. A lot of you is so defeated and you don't even realize it. You 1 minute say you fighting and you doing this and doing that, and the next minute you expose yourself with your own mouth. People say all the time, just listen to a person talk and you can tell exactly what they own. For an example, on Instagram, we was talking about, the last time the FBI put out hate crime stats, which is in 2019. Now they're going to release the 2020 later on this year. And in that post, I circled on there that it was almost 50% of the hate crimes that were done in this country were anti-Black hate crimes. And I pointed out only 4.4% were anti-Asian hate crimes. Now, they passed a bill, it haven't went to Joe Biden yet, but they passed a bill in the Senate for the anti-Asian hate crimes. But yet the people who suffer hate crimes the most have not gotten a bill. So I had tweeted at the Democrats and the Congressional Black Caucus. And I said, hey, what's going on with this anti-Black hate crime bill? We got to have that ASAP, period. If Asian people are getting it, and they said, and this is what they said hate crimes are to Asians. Hate crimes are verbal harassment, shunning them, and physical attacks. And physical attacks, according to Stop AAPI Hate, was 11%. The majority of it was verbal and shunning. So I say we're going to keep the same energy with Black people. Black people suffer hate crimes daily in this country from all angles. Let's call this what it is. This assignment is considered a hate crime. It is. Completely. We're going to go in that same energy about anti-Asian hate. We're going to keep that same standard. This whole assignment is anti-Black hate crimes. It is. So I'm saying that we need that. And when I made that comment, Black folks voted overwhelmingly for the Democrat Party. So Black folks overwhelmingly have more right to ask and demand, right? Logically, you would think so. But defeated Black folk, they're not going to do nothing anyway. I mean, shoot, we going to just vote for them. They're not going to do nothing. That's defeat talking. You know why that's defeat talking? Because you've accepted that as your lot in life. You accepted that you're going to give all your votes away to a particular party. You complain when they give things to everybody else. But then when somebody tell you, okay, well, get busy. Start applying the pressure to these politicians. Start doing something about it. Apply pressure to the Congressional Black Caucus and say, hey, What are we doing? Which one of y'all is putting a bill up for the anti-black hate, and you can get that bill through because you got the data to back your claims up? Since we talking about getting rid of hate crimes right now, right? That's defeated people. Defeated people don't want to do nothing. They make 1,000 excuses why it can't be done. Well, they ain't never done nothing for us. You expect them to protect us? You know what? I don't hear the Asian community talking like that. And they don't even vote for Democrat like that. Some of them vote, but not all of them. Everybody else, Hispanics, Arabs, all these different groups, when they want something, they stay on it. But when it comes to y'all, a lot of y'all, we can't do that. Well, look what this happened. Look what happened. Fear and defeat. It's the two things that hold you back the most. And people like myself get so frustrated with that. Fear and defeat. Fear and defeat. Hey, let's build some schools, man. We can't do that because if we do that, they gonna do it. Like every time that's what it is. Fear and defeat. So a lot of people get frustrated with the fear and defeat and how you won't do nothing. But at the same time, when somebody say, go talking about the continent of Africa, white supremacy is over there too, and you're not going to escape anything. I'm escaping you. In reality speaking, most of you ain't been over there to know that you're not going to get pulled over and get shot in the head for get bothered by the police like that. That's a freedom in itself. The cowardice and the fear and defeated mentality is what people get tired of. You can't act like you're superior to them over there in the continent of Africa and you're so scary and you're so defeated. That's why our children deal with these problems because of you being cowardly and defeated in your mind and scared to take a stand and do something for our little black children who's being psychologically attacked racially on a daily basis in these schools. That's why you keep literally sending. You know how racist these people can be. You know how the race soldiers are, and they just doing all kind of things to our children, and then we just keep sending them over there. When we can get together as a community, we could build schools. No, we're not rich as individuals, but as a collective, we do very well. We just got to come together. You got all this land, like in the state of Texas where I live, all kind of land. You could literally get acres upon acres of land and build schools and subdivisions and your own Black Wall Street all over again. We can't do that because all they're going to do is sabotage it. No, you sabotaging it because you're scary and you're so defeated. You sabotage it. Let them try at least, but you don't even want to do that. That's where the frustration comes along at while people say, I'm out. I want to get away from here because like the 2/3, that's what I'm talking about. Because this story, I've been reporting on stories like this for a long time. And I'm sick of it. Sometimes I'm so happy that I have other people to report on stories because I'm kind of tired of talking about the same things over and over and over and over and over. And we're not, as a collective, doing nothing about it because we can. When you look at George Floyd last year, that protest, black folks can make corporations move. Black folks can get them trembling. Black folks get the whole world on their side when you want to. The only time you want to do it unless a brother literally gets himself killed by a race soldier in a horrific way for you to get up and do something. If it ain't that, then you just, I can't do nothing. That's the frustration. And our little black children are suffering because we as a collective don't protect them. It's your job, our job, to protect black people by making them who you pay your taxes to and give all your votes to, by making them do something. Oh, you're not going to do nothing for the black community? What's your name? Oh, you out. And have a code to say, oh, y'all better not vote for him or her. They gone this election cycle because we need to set a precedent how you going to do for the black community. Because it's a new day. Because you have so many people off code in here in our community. And your off code behavior proves you don't care nothing about this black community. That's why some people say, man, I just go try my lot in another country. At least I'm only worrying about myself and I'll link up with other brothers and sisters that's there. I get acclimated to the country, the community. I'm not gonna have these issues and problems I have in America. That's why I don't like to hear none of y'all talk about somebody want to go to the continent. If they want to go, well, it's your fault because you didn't do anything to let that person know that there has a community that's going to protect them, that's going to protect their children. That's why. And I had to go that route because I don't like that old arrogance that come out of people's mouth. White supremacy over, that's your fear. You're so scary. You're so scared of massa. Everywhere you go, massa's in your mind. When I went to the continent, I hardly even seen them people. Oh, but they influencing the leaders. Man, black folks sell out all day long. That's the problem. Selling out is the problem. But I didn't see them folks that much. They sure wasn't telling nobody what to do on a daily like they do here. But it's that fear in you that you are literally on a plantation. That's why you're so scary, and that defeated mentality. So that's what pisses me off. Our children are suffering daily in these schools. You have enough people right now in this country where, like for instance, California. Black folks are done in California. All black folks need to come to the South and say, look, we're going to get in these cities that we already in and got some sort of political power. We're going to strategically move to these cities. We're going to strategically take over the city council, the police departments, the sheriff departments. We're going to be the DAs, the judges. We're going to be the mayor. We're going to take over the school board. We're going to have all our teachers come in. We literally going to take this over. Literally. The system already set up, is already built. Just go it on and just go take it over by moving in and being strategic. But that's too much like responsibility. That's too much like, we trying to take control of our own destiny. Know a lot of you, oh, well, if we start doing that, they going to start. Defeated mentality. Defeated. You have some brothers and sisters say, yeah, I'm on that. Let's do that. Let's do that. What y'all do? Well, it's going to be expensive to move like that. How do you know you'll get a job? Well, I don't know. Like, it's always something negative. People leave their whole countries. Look at them people in Central America. They come from way down there to up here. They left their country and everything. They left their mama. They left their dad. They just sitting there cheering up here. But some of you scared to go to the next state or move a few states over. That's what I'm talking about. Our issue isn't so much our condition. If we eradicate fear and a defeated mentality, it's nothing that will stop us. Nothing. But leave me a comment. Let us think about this particular story and all that's related to this story, because I'm tired of seeing these stories. I'm tired of it. And, I don't get on this, platform and enjoy making that kind of content all the time. I don't get the joy out of that. I really don't. When I know we have the power to do something about it. And you talk about the continent of Africa, every time we done something, it affected them. We had a civil rights movement and got free of a lot of oppression. What ended up happening to them over there? They started getting their countries from underneath colonialism and got free. We do something else, it'll affect that too. So why don't we take that step and do what we're supposed to do and stop being so scary and so defeated? Thank you for watching, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out the African Diaspora News Channel app in the Google Play and Apple App Store.